Hello, I'm Shen, the developer of Wonhon, A Vengeful Spirit, and we have a prologue for the game coming up. So I'm gonna play it and show you some of the cool things in this short snippet of the full game, and also talk about things from a developer's perspective because I made the game. I can prove it to you. Here's my name in the credits. Um, So yeah, let's jump into it. Um, so fun things here. Oh man, there's so many things I can talk about in the game. So many problems, so many bugs I had to fix. A fun one that I can talk about already in here. It wasn't that fun actually. It was just it was just annoying. So you can see this fog here. It might not be that noticeable actually. Can you see it? Yeah. So this blue fog that's kind of traveling traveling in the right direction from this view. Yeah. So for the longest time, this fog was acting very strangely. Like it looked great when the game was running at 60 frames, just like this. But then it looked very strange if I ran this game on slower computers or at different resolutions. It looked strange. Like I thought it had to do with the frame rate, because it depending on the frame rate of the game, the fog would look like all like clumped up or very ugly. Like in here, it's like kind of like this is how it's supposed to look, and it looks very like if evenly distributed. But then I would see sometimes on different machines the fog would have like crisscross patterns, like very unnatural, or it would be all like clumped up. And it turns out the movement of the fog wasn't, it was independent of the frame rate as it should be, which I thought you know, that was all I had to do. But then it turns out the noise generator was somehow tied to the frame rate of the game as well. So it looked perfect at 60 frames, but then in some cases it would really mess up the random generation algorithm basically, and it would just like clump up these fog elements. So yeah, very strange bugs all around. I mean, whenever you're trying to do something like custom, you always run into these issues, I guess. Um, I could have just used the Unity. The game runs in Unity, so I could have used like the built-in particle system or something. But then, back when I started development on this game, there was nothing like VFX graph. Yeah, I think it's called VFX graph. There wasn't like a very good optimized particle system. Like the built-in particle system is all, it runs on the CPU, so you can't have more than like 50,000 particles. Otherwise, your CPU budget, you'll use all of that up with the particle system. So you have to like you have to use Compute Shader, or you have to offload that onto the GPU somehow, and that's why I came up with my own particle system that uses Compute Shader GPUs, offloads everything onto the GPU. So the fog uses it, the snow uses it, the rain uses it in the game. But anyway, I'm talking too much about technical stuff already. So this is a graveyard that you'll come back to in the main game as well, the full game. And in the full game, all these graves will be populated with ghosts, and these ghosts will have unfinished business in the living world, and they will they will want you to go into the living world for them and do certain things, complete certain missions so that they can rest in peace. So that's basically like a structure of the game, at least the first half of the game. But in the prologue, we're not doing that. We're just talking to this guy. You're next on the line. Let's see. Excuse me, what is going on here? You're dead. I'm taking you to the afterlife. So essentially what happened is that the girl that we're playing as, she's already dead. But her brother is stuck in the village that they live in. So she wants to go back for just a few minutes and save her brother. And the death god that we're talking to, he basically grants her wish. So we're back here. And there's that rain I was talking about. Compute shader, GPU rain. And before entering the mission here, also a fun thing that I can talk about. So you can see the rain is like hitting the ground. You can see it kind of like bouncing off. You can also see it, I don't know if you can see it that clearly. Maybe you can. Yeah, you can kind of see it. You can also see it bounce off the water. There's like tiny ripples that it creates. That's all fake. A lot of things in video games, or I guess computer graphics in general, it's all like smoke and mirrors. Yeah, it's all fake, right? So the rain is a separate element. It's just it's basically like long pieces of sprites that are moving down, and then once they go below the ground, then they loop back up. So it's just keeps falling down, and then the ripples on the ground, that's just a shader trick on the terrain shader. It just keeps generating these tiny circles, and it's actually a repeating pattern, but there's a lot of like random generation noise applied to it, so it doesn't look like it repeats, but it's a repeating pattern. If you actually look at just like one drop for a long time, you can see it appearing in the same place. And the same trick is done on the water, but that's done to the normal channel of the water, so it looks a little bit more 3D. The water is fun too. Like, I made my own water shader here, and it's essentially like a semi-transparent plane, but the normal channel has this like scrolling pattern to it, so and nothing's actually moving. It's just kind of like image tricks. And then in the shader also, like whenever it like intersects with the terrain, I have another texture like creating the bubbles. But anyway, why am I talking about graphics math? Let's play the game. So you can sneak up on enemies and possess them using your ghost power. So once you possess an enemy, you have full control over them, and you can use their weapons as well. Boom. And you can exit their body, and while you have your ghost energy up, you can teleport small distances, you can dash. But these red ghosts, they will drain your ghost energy, so you return to your human form, but you can possess another enemy. So it's a lot of fun. You have a lot of options. You can kind of like sneak around either in ghost form or while possessing enemies, but you can also possess enemies, use their weapons, and play the game kind of violently, more actiony. And in this run, I kind of want to play stealthily, but oh, actually, I found a bug today that I don't think anyone else pointed this out to me yet, but it's kind of fun. I'll demonstrate. I should make like a trophy for this, because it's really wild. So I realized you can actually go into the water while you're possessing an enemy. I think it's, yeah, here's the spot. Oh no, I died. I drowned. But I was thinking like, oh, maybe I should make a trophy for like putting every soldier into the water. I think it's possible. I'll try again. Either I'll make either I'll make an achievement out of it, or I'll just fix it so you can't go into the water. Or I don't know. Maybe I just won't do anything. I'll just try this again just for fun, and then yeah, I realized like enemies, they're too tall. Like their heads don't fall into the water. Okay, that's another bug. So yeah, the funny thing is, so he's gonna fall in. He's gonna fall in very soon. So when they fall into the water, like you can see, yeah, it's only like their head isn't fully submerged, so they don't drown, but they still can't get out of the pond. So they're as good as dead. I'll try this again with this guy too. It's kind of fun. Okay. Actually, this guy too. Look at me, I'm breaking my own game. So these three guys, they're gonna fall in the pond, and they're not gonna be able to do anything about it. I don't know why I'm demonstrating this. I guess it's just for fun. Games are supposed to be fun, right? Yeah, so let's see here. Yeah, it's really funny. Like I should probably fix this bug for the full game. Maybe I'll just leave it in the prologue for fun, in case anyone wants to try this. Okay, let's play this for real. So the mission is to save her brother. So let's kill some of the guys here. Oh no, I missed. Stop it. I wonder if can I shoot these guys? No. Alright. I can't do anything in the pond, so I guess we'll just save the brother here. And there are these mystery items here too that you can collect. These are for unlocking the bonus comic book, which is very fun to read, so I hope everyone gets to see them. Oh, there's a guy. And well, before rescuing this brother here, maybe I'll demonstrate one more thing. Oh, you can possess everybody here in this game, so you can control your rescue targets as well. But something I spent a lot of time on is the blood system. So if I kill this guy here, look at how the blood gets painted on the terrain. So it's completely dynamic and generative. You see that guy too. Like, so how it works is it's pretty fun how it works. So whenever someone gets shot or dies, they actually spawn a bunch of blood particles. I think it's like 10,000 particles, or it's like a ridiculously high number for what it should be, but it spawns a lot of particles, and every time the particle hits the ground, it paints the ground this red color. So essentially it's like real life, I guess. When liquid falls down somewhere and then it like stains that area, it's basically like painting it, right? So yeah, like you can think of this blood thing as like, I don't know if it makes sense, but it's like tiny brushes painting the terrain. and there's like 10,000 little brushes, I guess. So yeah, you can see how different the blood splatters are. Like this guy got shot and he flew back a little further than the other guy, so you can see the blood. It's like that's where he got shot, and then he flew back over here, and then there's like bigger blood puddle that accumulates while he's bleeding to death. It sounds so brutal. But when you possess an enemy and then have him kill himself, the blood puddle is gonna look different than the other guys, because he's not gonna fly back as much, right? So we can do it here. Yeah, so there we go. So it kind of pools in that one area more than it sort of like makes the blood pop out. But yeah, like I could have done this different ways. I think most games probably just pre-generate the blood. Just, you know, artists will go and paint like 10 different variations of blood puddles, and then it'll just randomly choose one of them or something like that. I'm not sure. I'm not sure how other games do it, but I'd assume most of the times it's like pre-generated, or actually that's not true. Sometimes I know like other games, they have like pre-generated decals, and then they'll like overlap to make new patterns or something like that. Basically, like you can do this many ways, but I thought like for this game I just wanted every blood puddles to look unique. So I kind of went with like a particle system, GPU particle system way, where it like actually paints somewhat realistically. And the result isn't perfect, but I think it works for the stylized graphics that this game has. And it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of headaches, but also fun to figure out how to do the blood painting. And I think that game, Ghost of Tsushima, that game does it in a similar way, but obviously better, because that game's much bigger than this game. But I think that game does it similarly, where it like spawns blood particles, and then when the blood particle hits the ground or some other object, it like turns into a projection decal. And yeah, it's like kind of similar, I guess, but mine's simplistic. Actually, I tried to make the blood a little more realistic looking at first. Like I tried to make it more reflective like a liquid and darker, but because the game's lighting is dark as well, it just looked really black and didn't look like blood in most cases. So I decided to make it more stylized and not as reflective as real blood, and it's like red. Like you can see it that it's red even when there's not much lighting on it. So yeah, it's stylized, but I think it works. But anyway, we got all of the secret items, and we have the brother here, so we can get out. We beat the prologue. So after you complete the prologue, you have a little dialogue scene with the brother here, and it's a little sad because we have to go and leave this brother all alone, but you know, that's what happens. And that's it. That's the prologue of Wonhon, and here's the little trailer that I edited. I think I made this a while ago, like last August. And this is a fun trailer because it's all like synced to the beat. The sound effects are all synced to the beat. There's some rats here in the full game. You can possess dogs. And that's it. That is the prologue of Wonhon, a Vengeful Spirit. Um, and we have we unlocked the bonus comic book, so you can look at it. Um, it's a pretty nice short story. So yeah, I hope you get to check it out. And yeah, please look forward to the full game, Wonhon, A Vengeful Spirit. And the prologue should go up soon. So I hope everyone gets to check it out. Thanks for watching.